Almost everyone has heard of the Titanic. Because of this, the whole world is still shocked about the destruction of the Titanic. There are a number of reasons why the Titanic may have been wrecked. So one of these reasons is the unfortunate mummy in Egypt. This story cannot be said to be 100% true, but this story cannot be ignored. So today, we are going to tell you about the curse of the mummy that caused the sinking of the Titanic. The Princess of Amen-Ra lived some 1,500 years before Christ. When she died, she was laid in an ornate wooden coffin and buried deep in a vault at Luxor, on the banks of the Nile. In the late 1890s, 4 rich young Englishmen visiting the excavations at Luxor were invited to buy an exquisitely fashioned mummy case containing the remains of Princess of Amen-Ra. They drew lots. The man who won paid several £1,000s and had the coffin taken to his hotel. A few hours later, he was seen walking out towards the desert. He never returned. The next day, one of the remaining 3 men was shot by an Egyptian servant accidentally. His arm was so severely wounded it had to be amputated. The 3rd man in the foursome found on his return home that the bank holding his entire savings had failed. The 4th guy suffered a severe illness, lost his job and was reduced to selling matches in the street. Nevertheless, the coffin reached England, where it was bought by a London businessman. After 3 of his family members had been injured in a road accident and his house damaged by fire, the businessman donated it to the British Museum. As the coffin was being unloaded from a truck in the museum courtyard, the truck suddenly went into reverse and trapped a passerby. Then as the casket was being lifted up the stairs by 2 workmen, one fell and broke his leg. The other, apparently in perfect health, died unaccountably 2 days later. Once the princess was installed in the Egyptian room, trouble really started. The museum's night watchman frequently heard frantic hammering and sobbing from the coffin. Other exhibits in the room were also often hurled about at night. One watchman died on duty, making the other watchman wanting to quit. Cleaners refused to go near the princess too. When a visitor derisively flicked a dustcloth at the face painted on the coffin, his child died of measles soon afterwards. Finally, the authorities had the mummy carried down to the basement, figuring it could not do any harm down there. Within a week, one of the helpers was seriously ill, and the supervisor of the move was found dead on his desk. By now, the papers had heard of it. A journalist photographer took a picture of the mummy case, and when he developed it, the painting on the coffin was of a horrifying, human face. The photographer was said to have gone home then, locked his bedroom door and shot himself. Soon afterwards, the museum sold the mummy to a private collector. After continual misfortune, the owner banished it to the attic. A well-known authority on the occult, Madame Helena Blavatsky, visited the premises. Upon entry, she was seized with a shivering fit and searched the house for the source of an evil influence of incredible intensity. She finally came to the attic and found the mummy case. "Can you exorcise this evil spirit?" asked the owner. "There is no such thing as exorcism. Evil remains evil forever. Nothing can be done about it. I implore you to get rid of this evil as soon as possible." But no British museum would take the mummy. The fact that almost 20 people had met with misfortune, disaster or death from handling the casket, in barely 10 years, was now well known. Eventually, a hard-headed American archaeologist paid a handsome price for the mummy and arranged for its removal to New York. In April 1912, the new owner escorted its treasure aboard a sparkling, new White Star liner about to make its maiden voyage to New York. On the night of April 14th, amid scenes of unprecedented horror, the Princess of Amen-Ra accompanied 1,500 passengers to their deaths at the bottom of the Atlantic. However, sometimes it is expanded upon to blame the mummy for more maritime disasters. However, according to some stories, this mummy was put on a lifeboat by its owner. The collector had bribed a crewman to place the mummy in a lifeboat and she made it safely to America. The curse continued to play havoc in America and she was shipped off on another ocean liner, the RMS Empress of Ireland. The Empress was struck by the Norwegian coal freighter SS Storstad on the St. Lawrence River on the 29th of May 1914 and sank with the loss of 1024 lives. Amen-Ra survived yet again. In a final bid to evade the curse, she was yet again placed on another ocean liner and began her journey back to Egypt. This liner was the RMS Lusitania and she sank off the Old Head of Kinsale, Ireland on the 7th of May 1915 after being hit by a torpedo fired from a German World War I submarine. Nearly 1,200 people lost their lives. It is believed that Amen-Ra went down with the ship. But some people say, this mummy is still in the mummy rooms on the second floor of the Museum of England, under the number 22,542. But however, some say that the sinking of the Titanic was due to the mummy's curse. There is no evidence to support this claim. Also, the transportation of artifacts is prohibited. It is said that due to this incident is being kept a secret. Survivors of the sinking of the Titanic say they saw a mysterious woman on shipboard. So this story is not 100% untrue. What do you think about this? For more interesting facts, stay with us, subscribe and turn on the notification by simply tapping the bell icon and selecting all. See you soon with a new video.